My fiancée told me she was just settling. I let her walk, canceled everything, rebuilt my life in silence. And when she finally wanted me back, she found a future she no longer had a place in. I don't remember the exact moment I stopped hearing her voice and started hearing the blood rushing in my ears. Maybe it was when she said the word settling. Maybe it was the way she said it. Soft, casual, almost bored, like mentioning she didn't like the restaurant I picked. Or maybe it was the expression she had afterward, the one you only see on people who think they've said something honest, not realizing honesty can be crueler than any lie. We'd been engaged for 7 months. We'd been together for 4 years. I thought I knew her. I thought she knew me. God, I thought a lot of things. It was a Wednesday evening. We were in our apartment, sitting at the dining table with brochures spread out, flowers, chairs, the kind of overpriced things you don't even want, but weddings require. She was scrolling through venue photos when she said it. I'm just settling. A soft exhale, like she'd been holding it in. At first I thought she meant settling on a theme, or a hairstyle, or a menu. What do you mean? I asked. She kept scrolling. With us, she said. Just like that. No pause. No build-up. No trembling voice. No emotional confession. Just a casual declaration that the person she planned to marry was Plan B. She didn't even look up. Something inside me went very, very still. I'd always imagined heartbreak as loud. Rage, yelling, throwing things. Instead, I felt something quiet shutting down inside me, like a breaker flipping. I stared at her and asked, carefully, then why get married? That's when she finally looked up at me. She shrugged. You're good to me. You're stable. You're consistent. I don't think I'll find someone better. Better. Not right. Not loved. Not wanted. Just better than whatever imaginary alternative she'd been clinging to. Is that how you describe someone you want to spend your life with? I asked. She frowned. Not guilty. Not ashamed. Annoyed. I'm just being honest. Isn't that what you want? Honesty. But it wasn't honesty. Not the real kind. It was entitlement wrapped as vulnerability. I don't want to lie to myself, she added. I mean, you're not everything I pictured. But no one is perfect. I didn't answer. Because in that moment, I wasn't thinking about what she said. I was thinking about every moment I'd mistaken for love. Her hesitation before introducing me to certain friends. Her comments about how steady I was compared to the exciting guys she used to date. Her tendency to tell stories about her ex with a nostalgic softness she never had when talking about us. Then she said the thing that finally broke something in me. You're safe. Safe. A word that sounds comforting until you realize it's being used as a synonym for settled for. I pushed my chair back. She blinked. Where are you going? To bed, I said. It's only 8. I'm tired. That was the last calm moment of the night. She followed me, asking why I was being dramatic, why I couldn't handle an adult conversation, why I expected her to pretend our relationship is some fairy tale. I didn't yell. I didn't fight. I didn't defend myself. I just listened. And the more she spoke, the clearer everything became. She didn't want me. She wanted stability. She didn't choose me. She accepted me like settling for a cheaper dress because the expensive one doesn't fit. I lay awake most of that night, staring at the ceiling while she slept beside me, oblivious. By sunrise, something inside me had hardened. A decision. A boundary. A line I didn't know I had. At 8:14 a.m., I called the venue. I canceled the reservation. Lost the deposit. Didn't care. At 9:02 a.m., I called the jeweler. I asked how much I could get if I sold the ring back. At 11:46 a.m., I emailed the travel agency. I asked to convert the honeymoon into a solo trip reservation. Every action felt strangely calm. Mechanic. Like I was watching someone else do it. Then, around noon, she woke up and walked into the living room, hair messy, eyes sleepy. She saw the brochures gone. What are you doing? She asked. I met her eyes. You said you were settling. Well, yeah, but not like. Then don't settle with me. She froze. The color drained from her face. Are you breaking up with me? No, I said. I'm letting you choose. I chose you, she snapped. I said yes. You said yes because you didn't think you could do better. She swallowed hard. I didn't mean it like that, she whispered. I was emotional. You weren't emotional, I said quietly. You were honest. We stared at each other for a long time. She opened her mouth to argue, then closed it. For the first time since I'd known her. She looked scared. Please don't do anything drastic, she said. But I already had. and she could see it. There's a difference between someone threatening to leave and someone who already mentally walked out the door hours ago. That night, I slept on the couch. 2 days later, she moved out temporarily to clear her head. 3 weeks after that, contact went cold. Her choice. 3 months passed with zero calls. She thought I'd wait. She thought I'd chase. She thought I'd sit quietly, available, safe. I didn't. What happened next? The success. The peace. The new life? The moment she tried crawling back. When she moved out, she took only 3 bags: clothes, makeup, and a framed photo from our trip to Lisbon. The one where I'm holding the camera and she's smiling at something behind me. She didn't take the photo because it reminded her of us. She took it because she liked how she looked in it. That's when I understood everything I hadn't wanted to see. Her temporary break wasn't about saving the relationship. It was about seeing if the world had someone better before she came back to the man she considered safe. And honestly, that realization didn't even hurt. It clarified. For the first time in years, I saw her without illusions. And I saw myself, small, compressed, quiet, bent to fit the shape she needed. So I didn't wait. The quiet transformation. The first week alone was strange. Our apartment echoed differently. The silence was heavier. My phone, quiet, too quiet, felt like a phantom limb. But then something shifted. I started waking up early. I went to the gym every morning. Work became sharper, clearer, like someone wiped dust off a lens I didn't know was dirty. I wasn't healing from her. I was healing without her. By the end of the first month, I had closed a major deal at work, got a raise, started a side business I'd been postponing, booked my solo honeymoon trip, not out of spite, out of momentum. It felt like my life had been paused for years, and someone suddenly pressed play. And then came the trip, the honeymoon for one. I arrived at the resort we'd booked together. They asked politely, "Will your fiancé be joining you later?" I smiled. "No, it's just me." It was the first time I said it without pain. I spent the week swimming, hiking, reading, eating alone without feeling lonely. Somewhere between sunrise on the third day and the quiet dinner on the fifth, I realized I didn't miss her. I missed the version of myself I used to be. I came back different, calmer, focused, detached. When I returned home, I didn't tell her. She didn't ask. 3 months passed. No contact. Until one evening, around 7:23 p.m., my phone lit up. Her name. I stared at it like it was a ghost appearing in daylight. I answered. "Hey," she said softly. Too softly. The tone women use when they're not sad. You just need to feel like they are. "What's up?" I asked. I was thinking it's been a while. Maybe we could talk. I leaned back in my chair. "I don't think there's anything to talk about." She inhaled sharply, offended that the script wasn't going her way. "I think we made a mistake," she said. "I miss you." No apology. No accountability. Just a vague, emotional bait hoping I'd step into the trap. "What do you miss?" I asked. "Me or the stability?" Dead silence. Then she said the most revealing thing. "I've been dating. And it's awful out there. No one is serious. No one knows what they want." There it was. She didn't want me. She wanted the comfort of what I used to be for her. "I thought you needed time to think," I said. "I did," she replied quickly. "I realized you were good for me. You always were. Good. Safe. Stable." The same words that killed the engagement. I exhaled slowly. "Listen," I said. "I'm not angry. I'm not hurt. But you were honest that night." "I didn't mean." "You did. You just didn't think I would listen." She went silent. And finally, after months, I told her the truth. "I'm building something. A life. A future. And it doesn't include someone who sees me as a consolation prize." Her breath hitched. "Please," she whispered. "Can we just meet once? Maybe we rush things. Maybe we—" But I cut her off gently. "I'm not the man you were settling for. I'm the man you lost." Another silence. Long. Heavy. And then she said it. "Are you seeing someone?" I smiled to myself. "No. I'm seeing myself clearly for the first time. And that's enough." She tried one last time. "So that's it. That's it." I hung up. Not angrily. Not dramatically. Just finally. The epilogue that she never expected. She texted me the next day. And the day after. Then nothing. A week later, she posted a sad quote on Instagram. Then a throwback of us. Then deleted it. Then disappeared offline for a while. I didn't follow up. I didn't check her page. I didn't wonder what if. Because the truth was simple. She left to keep her options open. I left a closed mind for anyone who can't see my worth up front. That's the thing about quiet success. It doesn't scream. It doesn't beg. It doesn't chase. It just builds quietly until the person who underestimated you comes back to a future that no longer includes them. Update that it's been about 3 weeks since that phone call. The one where she tried to slide back into my life like nothing had happened. I thought that would be the end of it. I genuinely believed she would take the hint, pick her pride off the floor, and move on. I underestimated her talent for self-delusion. Because the silence that followed wasn't acceptance. It was preparation. The first sign. The first sign came when my coworker, Sarah, stopped by my desk and said, "Hey, your ex is watching my Instagram stories. And she doesn't follow me." I shrugged. Not my problem. But deep down, I felt something shift. She was circling, testing the perimeter. When you cut someone out cleanly, they often don't realize they're truly gone until they run out of ways to reach you. Then came the second sign. A few days later, I got a message from my mom. "She stopped by the house today. I told her you weren't home." She looked off. Off. That word landed heavier than it should have. I didn't ask for details. My mom didn't offer any. But I could picture it. Her standing at the doorway, trying to look composed while her world cracked quietly behind her smile. I told my mom politely, "Next time, just tell her we're not in contact." Mom replied instantly, "Already did. Don't worry." I didn't think about it again. But then she crossed the line. A week later, I walked out of the gym and saw her car parked across the street. Engine off. Lights off. Just there. I froze. I wasn't scared. I wasn't angry. Just tired. I walked to my car, pretending I didn't see her. I opened the door, got in, started the engine, and only then did I look directly at her. She flinched like she'd been caught stealing. She didn't roll the window down. She didn't wave. She didn't smile. She just stared at me with this expression that said everything she wouldn't say out loud. "I didn't think losing you would look like this." The message that finally broke the silence. That night, she texted me for the first time since our call. Not emotional, not dramatic. Just, "Can we please talk?" Just once. I didn't reply. An hour later, "I know you're reading this." Still nothing. Another hour. "I'm sorry. Can you just give me 5 minutes?" I put my phone face down and went to bed. This wasn't cruelty. It was boundaries. Firm ones. Ones she never thought I was capable of. The part she didn't expect. The next morning, she sent one last message. Long, shaky, and full of the desperation she tried so hard to hide before. I made a mistake. I didn't mean what I said about settling. I thought the grass was greener, and it wasn't. I've been thinking about our life and what we could have had. I miss you. I really do. I read it carefully. And for the first time, I didn't feel a single thing. No anger. No nostalgia. No old ache. Just clarity. People like her don't miss you. They miss the role you played. The stability. The convenience. The certainty that you'd always be there when the thrill of options faded. But that version of me was dead. Buried. Gone. Replaced by someone she didn't expect and cannot manipulate anymore. Final update that a few days passed after her last message. The long apology that read more like a confession than an attempt at reconciliation. I didn't block her. I just didn't respond. I wanted silence to speak for me. It was the only language she'd never learned to understand. But silence, as I discovered, doesn't always make people go away. Sometimes it makes them unravel. She reached out again, this time through email, a place she'd never used to contact me before. The first email was short. "I really need closure." I ignored it. 2 days later, the second one came. Much longer, typed at 3:19 a.m., full of frantic energy no amount of proofreading could hide. "I know I messed up. I know I said the wrong thing. I don't even believe what I said anymore. I was scared. I thought you'd leave me first, so I created distance. I thought being brutally honest would make you try harder. I thought you'd fight for me." That line made me stop. Not out of hurt. Those days were gone, but out of recognition. That sentence was everything wrong with our relationship condensed into a single breath. She believed "hurt me to prove you love me" was a valid strategy. She didn't sabotage us because she was unhappy. She sabotaged us because she needed to feel powerful. I closed the email without replying. The next escalation came a few days later when my cousin texted me asking if everything was okay. He sent a screenshot. She had messaged him, "Can you tell him to talk to me? It's important." She was circling my life like a ghost knocking on doors, hoping one would open. I replied to my cousin, "Don't engage. I'm handling it. He understood immediately. Then came the moment everything clicked into place. I ran into her by accident at a grocery store. The kind of mundane encounter that would have been harmless in another lifetime. She saw me before I saw her. Her face lit up with this painful mix of hope and panic. She approached slowly, like she was afraid I might disappear. I kept my posture neutral. Polite. Not cruel. Not warm. Just absent. She asked softly, "Can we talk?" "Please," I said. "There's nothing left to talk about." Her eyes filled instantly. I don't think she expected my tone. Not cold. Not emotional. Just done. She whispered, "I didn't think you'd actually move on." I nodded. "I know." And that was it. I walked away. She stayed standing in the aisle alone, holding a basket she didn't seem to remember picking up. That wasn't the final moment, though. The final moment came a week later, and it was quieter, sadder, more definitive than any confrontation could have been. She sent me one last message, this time through a mutual friend who didn't realize we weren't in contact. "Tell him I really do hope he's happy, even if it's not with me." I thought I'd regret losing him because I'd miss what we had. But now I realize I regret it because he became someone I'll never be allowed to know again. That line stuck with me, not because it hurt, but because it was true. By the time she understood what she'd lost, I wasn't the man she'd discarded. I'd grown past her, past us, past the version of myself that would have waited around for breadcrumbs of affection. She didn't lose me. She lost access to me. As for me now, I'm peaceful in a way I didn't know I could be. My apartment feels like mine. My plans are mine. My future is wide open, and I'm walking into it without hesitation. Sometimes closure doesn't arrive in a conversation. Sometimes it arrives quietly, when you realize you no longer need one. She settled for the wrong thing the day she told me she was just settling. I stopped settling the moment I walked away.